And this is a time of transition. We are at the end of the age of oil, and we are at the beginning of the solar age. And our task is to get from one age to a new age with minimum pain and maximum gain for the children of all species, including our own children. And I also want to point out that nobody got off the boat, no matter who they were, thinking that we could drill and burn our way out. People understood we're going to have to invent and invest our way out. That's the only real pathway forward, is to invent and invest our way out. And I was just trying to add that one more I, include. Invent, invest, and include. Let's make this green wave lift all boats. Let's not have communities get hit first and worst on everything negative from climate change, whether you're talking about the floods, the fires, Katrina, and then benefit last and least from everything positive in the green economy. Let's make sure the communities that were locked out of the pollution-based economy are locked into this clean and green economy. Let's build a green wave that can lift all boats. But it was for somebody like myself, it's an incredible experience. At this stage in the transition, from the oil-based economy to renewable economy, it's all Adam Smith. We haven't gotten anything radical. We haven't gotten anything crazy. I mean, at some point we're going to have to get to a place where we recognize that growth, economic growth, and a quantitative sense has to come to an end. And it has to become now a qualitative sense of who we are as people, how we live our lives. But we haven't even talked about that. We're talking about just trying to get our growth trajectory on something a little bit more sustainable. And because of that, I think we should be very loud and proud that we have some important answers for the country on three things. Number one, energy price. We're all friends here. Let's talk about the fact that there are people who have been whooping us all summer on the energy price question and using people's legitimate economic fears to drive people in the direction of climate-destroying solutions, seeking tiny, short-term gains in exchange for a long-term, devastating pain for the whole planet. You know what I'm talking about. Let's go drill our way out of this. We can drill and burn our way out of this. We're just going to throw away America's beauty. We're going to abandon our coastline communities. Let's remember, we didn't stop coastal drilling because we were concerned about the duckies and the fishies. Let's remember that. As important as the duckies and the fishies are, that wasn't the reason. It was because the health and the safety of all those coastline families was being jeopardized every day. It's because the beauty of those beaches every day was being despoiled. People remember going down to Santa Barbara, and when you go out, you get out of the water, you have oil all on your feet, and you have to use gas to get off. People remember that in California. That wasn't because of an oil slick. That was the daily operation. So the idea that you're going to throw all of our coastline communities, the health and safety of those children, under the bus, seeking the last drop of oil, feeding our oil addiction. That's smart policy. That's the best we can do as Americans. That is now polling well. Because again, people haven't heard that there's a green solution for energy prices. The work that Dave is doing. You know, again, we can stay with Adam Smith, not do anything radical here. How do you get prices down? One side says drill and burn your way out. You do that, you bake the planet, you throw away America's beauty. You have our country scraping the bottom of the barrel for the nastiest polycarbons, tar sands, oil shale, liquefied coal. You have us acting like crackheads for carbon. You know, that's the solution. But there's another answer. And the other answer is, how do you get prices down? Adam Smith. Cut demand, diversify supply. Simple as that. Cut demand, diversify supply, and create jobs. When the other side says, drill here, drill now, pay less, we should say, cut demand, expand supply, and create jobs. We have an answer. And how do you cut demand? You cut demand by doing the things that Dave just talked about. Making sure that people are driving well, driving smart, go now. Weatherizing millions of homes so they don't leak so much energy. Begins to cut their cost down. Saves them money. Mama right now is worried Why? Because how is she going to pay the energy bill in the winter when the energy prices go up? If we had a crash program in this country to weatherize millions of homes, starting with the low-income people first, right? We could keep grandmama warm in her home. We could put millions of people to work with green hard hats and tool belts and work boots on, going around, double painting the glass, blowing in the insulation, wrapping those hot water heaters with blankets, all that good vocational green collar work, so you can start bringing jobs back. A crash program for weatherization begins to cut demand for energy. It also begins to create jobs. We can go crash course for mass public transportation and rail. Also creates jobs, begins to cut demand. These are practical, realistic answers that realize that the price of oil is going to continue to go up anyway. It may go up slow, it may go up fast. But you put people to work. That's how you cut demand. You cut demand by putting people to work. How do you expand the supply? Same principle. Many of you flew here. You're going to fly home. Look out your window. Every city you fly over, look at all those rooftops with no solar panels on them. Go to sleep, sleep for an hour, wake up, look out the window again, and you'll see even more rooftops. We need to have a crash program to solarize this country, to put solar panels on rooftops all across the country. Again, you create millions of green-collar jobs, thousands of contracts for new entrepreneurs. You can improve the wealth and the work available to people. And guess what? You can start closing some of these dirty power plants and improve the health of communities. So you can take the asthma inhaler out of little girls' pockets, little boys' pockets all over this country with a massive solarization project. So our answer on price for energy is good for wealth, it's good for health, it's good for work, it's good for the planet, it's good for the people, it's good for energy prices. We have an answer, and it's a green answer, and it's a good answer, and it's a comprehensive answer. And that's because Adam Smith. We haven't even gotten to the real spiritual dimension of this. We're still just in basic economics. And so this is something I think is important for us to keep in mind. The last thing I want to say is this before we have a conversation. We have people all over this country who want to work and cannot find work. Don't let anybody tell you that you got a lot of people proud not to be working or proud to be a part of the underground economy. We have Reverend Michael Beckwith here from Los Angeles. He knows that the drug trade, yeah, y'all can clap. We have a hero here, a spiritual and political hero here on the front row. He knows that the drug trade in Los Angeles, that people are not making money in that anymore. People are stressed, people are dying, but people don't see other options. We have genius locked up in our prisons. We have genius locked out of the economy in our rural communities on meth now. People talk about the homicide rate in urban America. They don't talk about the suicide rate in rural America. Young white children who are suffering, who nobody is a champion for. We have brothers and sisters coming home from Iraq, from Afghanistan. Their spirits are broken. They need to have the gun taken out of their hand, have some tools put in their hand so they can begin to till the soil. They can begin to help improve this country. We have people who need a mission. They don't just need a paycheck, they need a purpose. Well, what I would say is that the idea that we can retrofit a nation, that we can reboot, retrofit, and repower a nation, can provide these young people with both the paycheck and the purpose that they're lacking right now. We have all this work that needs to be done. And it's the most important work in the history of the world to turn the nation that is the number one source of pollution into the number one source of solution. That's the most important work that needs to be done. And we have all these people who need work. Let's be wise enough as a people to connect those who most need work with the work that most needs to be done, fight pollution and poverty at the same time, end forever the need for oil wars and resource wars, and bring this country together. Thank you very much.